Welcome back to Cited. I'm your host, 𝐟𝐸𝐫𝐸. Tonight, our guest rose to fame in stilettos, scandals, and strategy. An entrepreneur, a brand, a storm. We watched Blac Chyna in the blogs, the beauty chairs, the courtrooms, and in the chaos. We saw the surgeries, the beefs, the baby daddies, and the breakdowns. She came into fame on her own terms. Unapologetic, unforgettable, and undeniably strategic. Blac Chyna was a brand, a headline, a storm. But behind the noise, there was always a human waiting to be seen. And over the last 3 years, that human has been reintroducing herself to the world, not as a product, but as a person. Her name is Angela White. Tonight, we're not talking to the headline. We're talking to the heartbeat behind it. Angela, welcome to Cited.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That was so beautiful. I was like, I'm about to start crying. That was so beautiful.
It's your
Thank
truth.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
having me.
And thank you for being here. I do know firsthand that you are not someone who just goes to interviews. And a lot of times you don't know what you're walking into. So I want to thank you that despite us being friendly over the years, you have not gotten brand new. And you traveled a long way to be here and to talk and connect with your fans. And I'm really thankful and happy to have you.
I'm thankful too.
Yes.
Like, this is exciting.
Yes,
this is exciting.
So we're going to jump right into the questions. First things first, I'm so honored to have this version of you here. You look like peace.
Thank you.
Sometimes cameras don't translate and you don't know what that person's aura feels like in real time. You've lived 1,000 lives in public, but how does it feel right now, if you could tell me, to simply be introduced as Angela White?
How do I feel? I feel great. I feel accomplished. It's making me almost feel as though I can continue, because the things that we do or the things that I do, like behind closed doors, I'm not going to broadcast everything on social media because I don't want it to be overly saturated. So now when I have these moments that I can share, especially with people that I've been knowing for years, give me your hand, for years, you know, and it just feels really good.
This segment is identity and transformation. Okay, so we're going to talk through that. We're going to peel back the layers. I want to take it back to the exact moment. If you remember, and if you don't, there's no pressure.
Yes.
The exact moment that made you say, something has got to change, and this is what I'm about to do.
I don't remember exactly what it was. I think that it was just really God's calling. And I think at that moment I heard him. And it was a few days before my birthday, and I was like, you know what? I want to just get baptized on my birthday. Like, that's the only thing I want to do is just get baptized. And then from there, it was just baby steps and more baby steps to cleaning up my act, because I just honestly got sick and tired of myself, really. And I was like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm done with a lot of stuff. And then I started to slowly do it, because, you know, we have to do things in baby steps.
So when you say that, right, when you say sick and tired of myself, right, I've used that phrase when describing other situations that had nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
When a person is, you know, struggling with whatever their struggles are, what does that feel like internally? Do you actually know, like, I am not producing at my maximum level. I am not showing up on time. I'm just literally just throwing that out there. Or I'm not going to the gym. I need to get in the gym. I'm not eating. What does that feel like when you are in this out-of-body experience? Because you're not yourself.
Right.
What does that feel like for a person that's going through whatever you were feeling?
Well, the feeling when you're in it and you're doing like messed up things, right? Everything feels right, you know? And then you're gonna get things, you're gonna have accessibility to just all these different things if you're living your life wrong. But then it comes a time to where as though it'll start weighing on you, you know.
When does that feel? Tell me, you know what I mean?
That
like
weighing on you.
When is it when you wake up on your way to an appointment? Like when do you feel like it registers internally like this is not what I want to do?
When you're alone, when you're in solitude, the more and more like you be to yourself and you sit in solitude and it's just you and yourself, then that's when you become more, you know, spiritually aware and then aware of like what you're doing because, you know, as people, we like to overthink and overanalyze, but when you sit in solitude and really figure out what it is that you're doing, because we'll go through the week and we'll be like, okay, I did this, and that. And it's like, well, I could have did this, and that. And then you'll start thinking about the choices that you made during that week or even that day. But for me, it was just, I was just in this repetitive cycle and I'm like, this is not doing it for me no more. And it's like, I'm just kind of sick and tired of just doing the same things. So I'm like, I need to break out of this cycle. And then I started to spiral, you know, on many occasions. And, you know, at the time, you know, alcohol was involved, bills, lawsuits, this, that, drama, people that I thought that really cared about me that they didn't, you know, money, you know, all these different things. And I'm like, okay, this isn't really making me happy. Like, I'm not really satisfied, you know, because I'm the type of person to where as though if I see something, like I'm gonna do my all to achieve that. And once I put it in my mind, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And everything just became like the same thing, repetitive. And it's like, if I keep going through the same thing and it's causing more negative on my life, then what am I doing wrong?
And I feel like people say that to themselves every day.
Yeah.
But the actual transition to making the change is so much harder to actually do than it is to say it.
Yeah.
Words flow off of our tongues so easily, but to do it is a huge deal. So tell me this, what part of your past self did you feel you had to let go? What part of that, when you're by yourself and you're in solitude and you're like, I'm doing the same thing and I'm expecting a different result, that's not the answer. What was that part for you?
For me, I think it was mostly opening up my heart.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Because once you do that and you start to love on yourself, and this is a real thing, and then love the people around you too. Because like if you're doing, like if you drinking or if you get money, you're not really thinking about like other people's feelings or even yourself. You know what I mean? Like you're doing any and everything.
That is really
So just keep it up.
interesting. So are you saying that ultimately when people struggle with any type of substance abuse or depression or whatever their struggles are that they're masking, right? They're only concerned about themselves and they can't be concerned about others, which is making them not be a good person.
Exactly. Yeah. And that was for me. Like, yeah, I would be like good to my likings. You know what I mean? But everybody's not the same. So like just even now with me in my new journey and things like that, that's one of the things that I really take and put on the forefront. People's feelings and their hearts and things like that, especially the people that's around me.
Right.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because when you're like doing your own thing, you're not really worrying about other people. You're not praying because you already got everything, you know?
Yes.
It's just all about me. It's like, what is it, narcissism, that word?
Yeah, narcissism.
Yeah,
right?
that one.
You just worrying about your own self-gratification. But it's not a calculated or conscious thing. You're just operating on that way.
Yep, because you're in a spiral. You're like in a loop, you know? And until you take yourself from out of that loop and like really look in and you're like, okay, that's not right. Or I shouldn't have did it this way. Or I shouldn't have said it that way.
I think that's very interesting.
Yeah.
As I feel like some of the people that I've come across in my life or some of the people that I have, you know, any type of relationship with, right? I feel like they are very, very self-centered, but not that they're bad people, right? Because that's a whole different thing to be a bad person versus to be in a situation where your actions and your movement is kind of being influenced by something.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that person is not a real person. That's something I want to go back to later. Now, I want you to be realer with me than real.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
I want you to tell me, was the decision to take out your fillers, shut down your OnlyFans, and walk away from the glam, was that terrifying in any capacity?
No.
No?
No, it wasn't.
How not?
It wasn't. When I started working out, I had started a lot of this stuff before I even posted like everything. So I had got baptized 2022. I stopped drinking September 2022, deactivated the OnlyFans in December 2022, but I didn't really come out and say that I was doing all this stuff on the back end until I posted my
That
surgery.
part. That's why I never like to post when I start working out, you guys, on Mondays. Because if you guys see I'm not there on Wednesday, then it shows. I always say that to my good girlfriend. Listen, I got to wait till I'm doing whatever it is for a period of time, because then they'll see that you didn't complete it. That was very intelligent of you to do. Now, what about the financial component of OnlyFans? Because everybody knows that you were bringing in a huge fucking bag.
Yes.
So what about that part?
I just woke up. Actually, I didn't just wake up. I was already up, and it was like maybe 1 in the morning, 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and this was like in December, and I called my bishop, and I was like, he always picks up the phone for me. Hi, Bishop James. He always picks up the phone.
Shout out to Bishop James.
Hi, Bishop. So I called him, and he's like, is everything okay, baby? I'm like, yeah. I was like, Bishop, I'm about to do it. He's like, you about to do what? I was like, I'm about to deactivate my OnlyFans. He was like, oh, praise the Lord. I was like, yeah,
It's the
Bishop.
Santa Claus voice. I love it. I know he's a nice guy.
He's such a nice guy, such a sweet guy. And I was like, I'm doing it. I'm about to press the button. And so I hit the button. And I was like, it's done, Bishop. And he was like, I'm so proud of you. And, you know, even that whole time, like, nobody said anything to me, like, as far as like from the church or anything, like, hey, you shouldn't be doing OnlyFans. They like let me be me. Cause you know, some people, like, you get into the church and
they
they're
start
like,
to kinda,
you can't do this or you can't do that.
Right.
You know, so everything was like literally on my time, on God's timing too. Well, really on my timing, because his timing is always good timing.
Absolutely.
And,
I know what you mean.
And when I did it, I didn't have no backup plan. It was just, I'm done with it. I know that I'm way better than this. And what happened was, in my mind, I'm like, I didn't set myself back, because I was a stripper for 6 years. I lost 6 years of my life to the club from 18 to 24. That's like your golden fun years. And here I am in the strip club. And then fast forward, here I am now on OnlyFans. But I know the reason why I was on the OnlyFans, because at the time I was in a really big lawsuit and it cost a lot of money, you know? And I was like, how am I gonna get this money to like do this and stand on my ground and fight for what I know is right in my heart, you know? So I was like, all right, here we go. OnlyFans, it's COVID, everything's shut down. Here we go. Boop, let's see. And the wildest thing to me is that it wasn't even reported as a negative on the internet. And that's how I know that that's literally the devil's playground. Because even when I posted it, I'm like, I'm gonna get so much slack for this. They're gonna talk down on me, da-da-da. Nothing. Nothing. I didn't get no bad nothing. It was crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, like when I started the OnlyFans.
Right.
Yeah, it's wild.
How do you, and I'm asking this almost for advice for just your peers, I'm your peers, the people that are just watching. How do you figure out how to sustain losing such a huge income? Like, how do you figure that part out? Because there are so many people that admire you. There are so many people that are in the same exact situation. And they're like, well, you know what? I want to do better, but I gotta take care of Dream.
Yeah.
I gotta take care of my son. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, how do you figure out that part of it?
So the thing about it is, if you're in it and you do want to get out of it, I mean, these are like quick flips, you know what I mean? If you're a hustler, you're a hustler. It's like you got to get in and you got to get out, because what happens is you're going to keep going to the extreme because people are going to want more from you.
Right.
So it's like you take your money, flip your money, put it into something else, however which way that looks.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. And if you're in it and you just want to cut it cold turkey, honestly, when you're getting the money, you're now buying things, you're giving away money, you're doing the most because you think that you're going to get it back. And the thing about it is you're not going to get it back. You're not going to get it back unless you are flipping it. That's the only way you could get money back. Giving somebody $5,000 and expecting that you're going to get it back, you're not. Or even to make it back yourself, you're not going to, it doesn't work that way.
So tell me a little bit more about what you're saying there, please.
Okay, for example, if somebody say, hey, let me borrow $5,000, they're never going to give it back to you.
Oh, no. Right, y'all know what Judge Mathis says. When they get their taxes, just write it off. Just write it off. You ain't getting your money back, okay?
You're never going to get that back. And then it's like, think about what you had to do
to make your money.
To get that.
Got it.
They're not experiencing the things that you have to do, like degrading yourself. They're just going to take the $5,000 and then come back and ask you for more. And it's going to become a repetitive thing. And then the moment that you can't give that to them.
Now you ain't shit.
You ain't.
Right.
Huh? What you mean? You get on there and do it. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
No. And then the main thing for me was, thank God I had my businesses to fall back on. And, and I've had, I had Lash for 10 years and I just switched it over to Heart's Cosmetics.
Tell us one more time, please.
It is 𝐟𝐶𝐫𝐶𝐿𝐼cosmetics.com.
Okay.
So you have to have like your own stuff. Like you have to make your own money because even with deals and things like that, you might be hot and popping and doing all this and getting deals here, endorsements there. But it's like the moment that they cut you off, what do you do then?
Right.
So that goes both ways, like if you are on OnlyFans or if you are getting endorsement deals, like you have to be able to flip your money.
So the message here is financial responsibility and understanding that money might come in rapidly at one point, right?
Yes.
Or even for a period of time. But you do have to understand that what you do with that money while it's coming in is going to determine what the future is.
Exactly.
So that's excellent advice. What do you think that you gained from this change besides your mental? What else did you gain?
I've gained clarity. I've gained peace. I've gained sobriety. I've gained a better relationship with the people that surround me. I've gained muscles.
We see you. Okay, you cannot miss it.
I've gained rest. Like before, I would not rest. Like rest and self-care. I've gained that too, man. That plays a big part. Even on your brain and just your thoughts and things like that. And I've gained new friendships and relationships and building stronger relationships with people.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
What does co-parenting feel like for you with the kids? I know that the kids are extremely important to you, but we also feel like, honestly, we all feel like aunties and uncles because the kids have grown up and we're growing with them. And so we have a connection to your children, which is always a blessing where people are like, look at Dream, look what you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what's co-parenting like for you?
Well, you know what, Raw?